Welcome back, Barbara Lamb, to the big Omni exclusive interview with you. How are you doing today?
Oh, fine. And it's nice to be with you again.
Oh, it's always special to be with you and within your space. I'm so happy to have you back, and our cosmic audience is so excited because right before we started, we were talking about your big new news, and it's a book. Do you want to
Yes,
tell yes, do you want to
I
tell
would
everyone
love
about
to
it?
talk about the
Yeah.
book because I think it's really a good one and it's different than any other book probably that has been written, as far as I know. The book is called Cosmic Convergence, and the subtitle is Journeys of Walk-ins, Starseeds, and Hybrids. And it's co-authored with Sheila Seppi, many people who we consider to be starseeds and people who are hybrids.
Does your book go into a little bit more clarification on understanding and validating if you may have some alien ET DNA inside of you?
So the hybrid subject has come up many times in the regression work that I have done since 1991. I've done at least 5,000 people. I've lost track. I keep seeing more because I'm still doing this work in regression therapy. But along the way, even back in the early 1990s, uh, some material was coming through these regressions that indicated that these people had hybrid children, and the hybrid children were living on the spaceships or on other planets, but they were not human enough in proportion that at a UFO Congress, I met a woman who immediately reminded me of a hybrid. And I dared to say to her, "Oh, I hope you don't mind my saying this, but you remind me of a hybrid." She smiled.
Yeah.
She said, "Yes, I am a
Oh,
hybrid."
wow. So
So
you
I
knew it
got,
right away.
so then I began to think, wow, that means that there are some hybrids living here on Earth. And as I uh, went through the years after that, I met another woman and immediately thought, "Oh, she's a mantis being." And she
Wow.
said, "Good for you. I am a mantis being."
Oh, okay. So
And
how did you identify her as a mantis being
I
right away and you knew it?
just just an intuition with both of
One,
them. Not that
probably
she,
from all your regressions and all your
oh,
expert knowledge.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it wasn't that she was very tall and, had huge wraparound eyes like the mantis beings are reported to be, looking like a big insect. But I mean, she certainly looked like a full human being, but there was just something about her. And immediately it came to me, wow, she reminds me of a mantis being. And it just happened to be correct in both of those cases.
Synchronicities.
Right.
Right.
So being very interested in uh, hybrid people living on Earth as humans, I thought, wow, I want to know more about this. And then it happened that I was invited to, at a house party, hybrid gathering.
Oh, I didn't even know they had those things.
So anybody
Oh,
look,
interesting.
yeah, anybody
Yeah,
looking in at that house party that weekend would think, oh yeah, these are just regular people.
right.
And they are regular people. And yet they do have some ET genetics that were given to them in this life, the process of hybridization. All of these kinds of beings, that is, hybrids and starseeds and walk-ins, these are all beings who are here on Earth to give service to humanity, to really help to evolve humanity in consciousness. And I think that as a world population, we really need it.
Yeah, I couldn't
We have
agree
In all
more
due
with
respect,
you. I know.
think we,
With
we
all due
really
respect to humanity and earthlings, we could definitely use a higher vibration and more consciousness on this planet.
absolutely. So
Wonderful.
all of these people are here for that reason. And it's very appropriate that they live as human beings.
Yes.
Uh, people,
So they blend in. So only someone
right,
like you might think, oh, wait a second, that person has an energy of something I've met before that's off
yes.
planet. Yes.
Oh, yes, and it was,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah. You have like this
it,
instinctual pull towards people.
right, and in each
Yeah.
case, an immediate thing, just right first moment
Of
of
seeing them and meeting them. I really think
meeting
that
the person, it's like,
beings and aliens and
oh,
starseeds are attracted to you back. I think you're a magnet for very unique beings on this planet. They'll find you,
yes.
Barbara, huh?
And yet I consider myself to be a quote unquote regular human being. Do not, I mean, other people have said, oh, you're obviously a starseed. Well, that could be, but um, I don't know. I just totally respect the ones who I totally recognize and believe are starseeds.
You're just an incredibly humble soul.
Well,
And I do believe that you are a very special being on this planet.
oh,
And
well,
maybe
thank
there isn't an identification for you yet, but there will be.
Well, in this world, there is a lot of very, very negative, terrible stuff happening, and people, using each other in really atrocious ways. There's so much of that that's coming up kind of out of the shadows nowadays. And I mean, you just cannot overlook that. And all the wars and the greed and the trafficking of people, and I could go on and on about that. Um, and particularly with all of those things going on, it's important that there are some people here who are very different than that. For are some people here who are really here to help, to
Yes,
raise the whole vibration, the whole consciousness of humanity wherever they can.
yes.
And so it's particularly, I think, important nowadays at this time in history that we have both. We don't have not only the negative forces really working, but also some
Higher
real.
conscious vibrations working. I couldn't agree with you
Yeah.
more that there are people here on a very positive, high vibration, conscious mission. I know that you have your own experiences with extraterrestrials and multidimensional beings, but when you're
Right.
doing your regressions with people, what are some of the stories that have come out of it about people experiencing having real events with extraterrestrial beings
Oh,
and
yes,
experiences?
there are so many of them.
5,000 regressions. So,
Really.
so many stories. What are some that really come pop out for you? And you can even talk about your own experiences because I know you've had some meet
Okay.
and greets with extraterrestrials as well.
I've had four experiences myself with extraterrestrial beings, and they have all been very, very fine, unconditionally loving.
With ETs, that they're your friends.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
do. I
Yeah.
do. It's not like a friend who's right here in the physical domain. I had to go out to
They
lunch.
pop in and out of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are contacts here and there, but it's kind of like there's a presence, and that is that they've actually used my name. They said, Barbara, we want to talk to you, or now we have something to say to you, Barbara, and they will usually give a message which is full of thanks for my helping this person to be aware of them.
Yes, you are so much gratitude in the universe towards you.
And then,
We're so grateful.
so how do these beings out in space know, number one, that this regression is going on?
Time is continuous and you are incredibly special.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's so amazing that they
I think
know
the
things.
beings too just wanted to validate that what you're doing is real.
They had not known it consciously, but in the regression, they find out that they have actually been healed of some major physical impairment. I mean, it might be that they have a heart problem or a blood problem or a liver problem or a kidney problem, or broken bones that they don't even know about, maybe a broken rib, um, uh, problems with the eyes, and even cancers that have been totally healed by these extraterrestrial beings. And usually that healing is done with some form of light. It might be like a bright light shining down from above on the person, or it might be more in a wand of light, or maybe 2.5 feet long flashlight. Oh, and a couple of people have had the experience where light is rolling up like a rolling pin. Many different descriptions people have given.
I think these descriptions are so incredibly positive.
Yeah,
Thinking about an extraterrestrial coming to heal one of us is an amazing story.
there are loads and loads of descriptions among all these regressions.
And they're all the
Yeah.
same. So as a regression therapist, you start to think this is actual hard data. This is not,
Right. Well,
yeah, this is not just a story. So this is hard data.
back in 1991 with the very first person I worked with who was having extraterrestrial experiences. And she found that one night she had a very severe ear infection. She was aware in the middle of the night that, and she felt these little fingers. They were long, thin fingers, very white, not human looking. And then she looked further and she could see that there were three very tall, very thin white beings. A few hours later, when she woke up in the morning, she realized, wow, my ear feels good. I don't feel any more pain. They
Oh my
had,
gosh, I got goosebumps.
yeah, they had healed her ear right then and there.
She obviously knew that she had an experience in her bedroom, but it was clarified through your regression therapy, it sounds like. Like
Right,
she really then saw the fingers and the beings. And
right. Oh,
is
yeah.
regression therapy important for them to kind of investigate these experiences that they have in their bedroom?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Yes.
There's so much more that has happened with the beings that the person has not been consciously aware of. And I think that it's very helpful for people to know what has been going on. Maybe they will wake up and see an orb of light flying around the room.
Yeah,
Maybe,
leads me to my next question is what if people just write these experiences off? They don't think much about them. They think it's a dream, I made it up. Then they do regression therapy and they realize it was very much a real experience. I mean, what are the feelings people usually have and after regression therapy with you? Did they ever express this to you?
oh, yes, well, they're usually very pleased to know and relieved. Very often, people report that it seemed like whatever that being was, it came out of the closet. Many reports of that.
That's, see, again, it's like a data point. A lot of people report that.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
And so we wonder about the closet. I mean, I don't know
Why it's a portal.
why, yeah, why that is, unless it's a portal. They're actually reliving it again.
Yeah.
Um, so my
That's
thought,
why, yeah, regression is so powerful.
yeah,
Yeah. Do you have any other examples of people having these experiences with ET or multidimensional beings, and then it stops their life in a way where their normal functioning it's not the same. And then they do a regression with you and they seem to be validated or the thing seems to be lifted from their aura and presence.
Oh,
Have you ever
yeah,
had any experiences like that?
sure.
Okay.
They're being shown around the craft, or they're being shown their hybrid children and allowed to have some time with them.
Like a family reunion.
Have a turn at flying the UFO. They discovered that they had been one of that kind of species of extraterrestrial beings in previous lifetimes.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's talk
Their
a little
mother,
more about that, about people finding out that they might have incarnated off planet first and then came here.
yeah, well, this started happening coming up in my practice in 5 years of training to be a past life regression therapist. I had already been a licensed regular psychotherapist before that. And through all of these years, my regular therapy clients, people who didn't ever even hear of extraterrestrials or knowing anything about that subject, realized that in that past life, they had been an extraterrestrial being.
Very beginning, you were just doing therapy.
Yeah, I
These experiences found you.
didn't even know about them. You
So
know,
when back then, when someone said, I'm an ET, what was your response to that? Because you hadn't really even formed your regression therapy around that yet.
that's
So
right.
how
I
did
did.
you handle that?
Well, I just found it extremely interesting.
Well, see, that's perfect. Look at you, a
Let's
data collector always.
just go along with the regression and see what happens.
Because people that either incarnate from off-planet sources or they're incarnating here on Earth again and again, their soul has a code, and this code gets written into their present life, and they may not even know why they're feeling or behaving in a certain way, but through regression therapy, they really
Right,
understand why what's going on.
right. And then
Right,
they can make a change. Right. Yes, it is.
right,
It
yeah,
is encouraging when you realize, oh, this really makes a difference. This is
right.
worth doing because
You've
it's
made a
really
huge difference in
helpful.
people's lives.
Yeah.
Huge. I know you have.
Oh, yes.
Super
And
fans.
and in the meantime, it's been just so fascinating to me. I mean, I always feel so blessed. My goodness, that this person came to me and I had the opportunity to not only to help that person, but to learn about that myself. So it's just been a magnificent experience for me. A lot of work and a lot of
Yes.
wonderful learning. And in more recent years, especially, I'd say the last 4 or 5 years,
Mhm.
more people have coming for somewhat of a different reason. And
Oh, yes. We're about to talk
wonderful.
about that special thing. Okay, I'm excited. So now we're gonna, yes, so now we're gonna move into your newest practice, which is in the more spiritual realm and helping people find closure of their loved ones who have moved on, which is something that I don't, did you ever think you'd be doing this kind of work?
No?
Interesting, right? So yeah, we're all really excited to hear more about this whole new branch that has been you've created for yourself.
Okay. There are other dimensional beings. So this opens up the whole area in my awareness of
Yes, in
the
your practice.
dimensional reality and how there's a huge realm of beings that do not have a physical body, but they're very
There's
present.
spirit-like.
She said, there's somebody standing by the bed. And I said, okay, well, what do you see? You know, describe that one. And she said, well, it's not exact. I know it's a presence. It's really someone, but it doesn't have a body like we do. It's more like an oval of glowing light. Was actually talking telepathically, almost see-through, almost transparent, and yet they see the outline of the being.
More like a spiritual realm being.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Do people feel a lot of closure when they can identify that they were contacted by a spiritual realm if they've lost someone recently?
Oh, yes, that sort of thing happens too, uh,
Yes.
because many of the beings who pass on would like very much to have contact with their loved ones who are still here. In regression, and in regression, it's so wonderful because the being usually stays around for quite a while, and not just a second or two, but maybe multiple minutes, and gives messages. And then the client, being regress, has the opportunity to talk to the deceased being and get messages back. So, in other words, it's a real two-way communication that I facilitate. And that is so
Oh,
appreciated by
yes.
the people and probably by the souls.
That's very rare.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so that's very heartfelt.
it
And then
is. That
after
must
that,
make you feel like very much a part of their healing journey here on Earth. Closure
yeah,
is so important after you've lost a beloved on this planet.
yeah, yes,
Are you offering this as a new practice for people if they have lost loved ones? Would can they come to you for regressions?
yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
I would
Get
like,
ready to get very busy.
it's not that I am a medium. I am not a medium who can get messages
That's
myself,
very important to
but
say. Yes.
part of one. First one, I remember the soul of the baby said, I completely understand that was not the right time. I
Because
just,
losing a baby,
oh,
there's no, the grief is insurmountable.
appreciative of having the
I'm
opportunity
sure. Babies always are.
to talk to the mother. That they thanked me just as much
Oh,
as the
oh,
woman.
Barbara.
Mm.
You're loved by aliens and babies alike. Not, not a higher compliment on this planet, I don't think.
Uh, oh, wow. And she just continued to feel this is the one who's come back to me.
Physical grief is the hardest thing that you'll have to go through on this planet. But you have to remember that like, anything that's yours will always be yours. It's never lost. It just will come at a different time, and usually the time you didn't expect.
So that was
Yeah.
a happy ending
Happy
to that.
ending. I'm so happy you're part of her beautiful story. For our cosmic audience, I know they'd love to know if you have any last things that you want to talk about.
Any of you listening to this, it could be, I can't promise it, but it could be that there are beings who are aware of you, especially if you are a person who thinks about them at all, or if you are one who has experiences with some of these beings. But even if you're just interested, if you're just consciously aware that there are all of these beings, if you had no experience at all yourself, that doesn't seem to matter. Uh, there are other beings probably aware of you. And from what I can see with all this experience, the ones who would be aware of you are benevolent beings. And wouldn't it be nice if we could get to know them better?
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. I couldn't agree more with that statement that people have a galactic team, a very loving galactic team, and when we make an integration or a connection with them, the relationship is lasting and it's beautiful. And they
Right,
want to make a relationship with us as much as we want to make a relationship with them.
right.
And I love that final message that these beings are benevolent, they're loving.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, thank
yeah.
you so much, Barbara. That was beautiful. I know that everyone can come see you live and in person at the MUFON conference in July.
A round table on Friday afternoon. And in that one, I will be telling about my personal extraterrestrial encounters. It'll
Thank
be a
you so, so much. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful conversation about benevolent beings and ETs and dimensions. And now that you have a whole new branch to your practice where you're helping people find closure from lost loved ones.
right.
Wow, what an amazing journey. Thank you so much, Barbara. It's always so amazing to be with you.
Well, you are entirely welcome. Love to share about this. And if
Oh,
it's helpful for anybody out there, I'm just very grateful.
oh, always so beautiful to talk to you, and I hope to talk to you very soon. Mwah, Barbara, I love you so much.
Thank you so much, too.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.